Today I'm doing a walk listed on the Long Distance Walkers Association site as Majesty of the Wiltshire Downs. So it's an 18-mile walk starting in Broad Chalk and going up through the downs. Plenty of escape routes, so you can make it shorter, but looking forward to it. A bit colder than I was expecting, hence the puffer jacket, but I've got plenty of layers, so I'll be able to de-layer as appropriate. Very quickly after coming out of Broad Chalk, so you come to a place called Church Bottom. I'm going to be walking on a lot of these tracks today. A lot of this walk is made up of drover tracks, which are the original highways of Britain. Oh, yeah, and it's muddy. But anyone who's watched my previous video, the Strawberry Trail one, will know I'm quite used to mud. So yeah, it's lovely here this morning. So, oh, that's a pheasant not very happy with me. Be even less happy if I had the corkies with me. Yeah, it's very pleasant. Slowly rising at the moment. Lots of sheep, lots of sunshine. Well, lots of sunshine over there anyway. Not necessarily here. So, yeah, keep moving. This is not a waymarked sign walk. This is one that is just on the Long Distance Walkers Association site. Yeah, we're now on Ox Drove, one of many droving tracks that we're going to be using today. You can tell this is a very old road. It's obviously still used by some cars, probably the farmers, but it's nice and solid underneath, so it looks, though it looks quite muddy, it's not a problem at all. Well, that's a bit of a challenge. I wonder why they've decided that this road cannot be used by motor vehicles. Well, today was the day I decided not to use my normal walking boots. I'm wearing trail runners. The idea with trail runners is your feet are going to get wet anyway, so these let water out, as opposed to my normal boots, which supposedly don't let water in. So yeah, this will be a test. I actually just skipped the other side of the hedge from that path because it was getting a bit silly. But you get rewarded with a lovely view. Just coming to the end of Ox Drove. We're now at Folkestone Drove Farm, which is a nice little gate. I think we can thank this farm for the condition of the second part of the Ox Drove Road, which was really nice. Somebody had obviously been trimming the hedges back. It was very easy compared to the first part. After Folkestone Farm, you then walk along Folkestone Drove track, and it couldn't be more different from the last one, to be honest. Lovely views, little valleys, and a nice grassy track to walk on. Still wearing the puffer jacket though. That's the end of the Folkestone Drove, and we've now joined this road here, which is apparently the line of an old Roman road. You can certainly tell it's an old road with all the high banking and the trees on the top. Just going into Cranborne Chase, greeted by this lovely dovecot and house next to it. What was I saying about the amount of water that we've had? Yeah, quite a lot. Just crossing over the road as you leave Cranborne Chase to go up the pathway up there, and this house has a lovely display of crocuses. After the steep climb after Cranborne Chase, you're rewarded with this wonderful 360 view. And I mentioned how good the views are on this walk here. I found some locals. They seem as happy as a pig. Oh well, there we go. They're coming down into Berwick and left the drover trails for a bit. Been walking on these little paths. It's okay. The frost is still lying in the shady bits. The views now are just absolutely stunning. See for miles. Again, the locals don't seem to be appreciating it. Walking down into Berwick is just wow. See for yourself. There's a fixer-upper. Anyone's after one. Berwick is pleasant enough, but you do have about a mile of road walking and there's no pavement, so lovely thatched cottage there though, and the opportunity to run a pub if you want. Looks to me like the pub's not open, so I wouldn't recommend that as a place for your lunch on trip. But there is a water tap. Ooh. Never pass up the opportunity to get some water, especially as I'm thinking I might want a cup of coffee in a bit. If I can find somewhere nice to sit, that's my plan, and have a bit of lunch. Well, the road out of Berwick wasn't too bad, but you do have a rather hairy 50 yards on the A31, which I could live without. But in fairness, I only saw 2 cars on the Berwick Road, and I only saw one on the A30, so there is a bit of banking you can get onto to get away from them. But I just climbed up quite a steep climb, and this is the view. And I think with the water I got earlier, I'm going to have a cup of tea. No, coffee. I haven't got any tea. Well, that was a lovely spot for lunch. Now back off again. Not leaving long enough for the coffee to get cold, that's for sure. Lovely. That's why I bring a stove with me. Looks like the weather's taking a turn for the worst. App tells me in about 15 minutes I'll be getting wet. The wind has picked up a bit. It's looking a bit grey from over there. We've just walked up from about there, which is where lunch was, and the sheep think I'm mad. It's still a lovely view. Well, that all got bit like Harry. Just after lunch, an icy blast came over, just where I had nowhere to hide. Unlike my newfound friends, who all took a little bit of shelter, well, most of them did, in their huts. But back on the Drove Road, this one's Crompton Drove Road. It was once said that you could drive a herd of animals on the Drove Roads all the way from here to Hyde Park. That would be interesting. You don't need to be much of a historian to work out that this path, which runs along the ridge, is an old Roman road. The views on either side are just lovely. I hope you can see that thick black cloud over there, which is the thing that got me wet earlier. And then looking through the hedge on that side. This is the split off for an additional bit that you can do to get some good views. That's the path that goes down to Broad Chalk, which I will be taking in a minute, because even though I'm a little bit skeptical that I'm going to get many views, I'm going to walk up to the viewing area. But you have to say, it's going to have to be a pretty good view to be better than that. I think I'm actually going to go to sort of just over there. So we'll see. The rain has come in, and this is the viewpoint you get if you take the extension bit of the walk, which even today has a far-reaching view. And those pigs from earlier who thought I was mad might well have been right, you know. Having just left that viewing point, the rain that was coming in has turned to snow. So I am now walking the last couple of miles in snow. This is not part of my plan, and this is not a light bit of snow. The wind chill is apparently about -6. Yeah. Now heading back down into Broad Chalk. If you like downs and you like drover tracks, this is a walk for you. The views have been stunning. They have been, even in this changeable weather. There are parts which mean that it's not suitable for pushchairs or buggies and things, but a stout pair of shoes and clothing to deal with changeable weather required. Going through Broad Chalk, there is a pub if you fancy a meal at the end of your walk, and there's a Stores which has a cafe as well. But I'm at the end of my walk now, so please comment, please subscribe, please like. If there's anything you'd like me to walk in the future, give me a shout. But I'm back at the church now where I started this morning. So, until next time. Bye.